The opinions expressed on the X and Y Show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y Show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y Show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y Show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. Welcome to another segment of the XY Show, and I'm your host, Roosevelt. And we are here for another week. Another week in seclusion from the coronavirus. And, I'm beginning to, wonder if I'm ever going to hear those three magical words ever again in my life. Those three magical words. Because, it's getting so, it seems like it's almost, it's like, damn, it's still going on. It is May and going into June. Will I ever hear those three words again? Those three words. You want massage? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't be getting massages. Some of you, I can't joke. Some of you be thinking I'm serious. I'm not serious. I don't get massages. But to the people that's getting massages, will they be able to get massages ever again? It's not the same. When you get a massage, she wearing a mask and, gloves and, all that PPE shit on. It's not the same. I don't think it'd be the same. So I would hear. I've heard. It's not. Oh my goodness! I'm so glad to be back for another week. How you guys doing? Besides the seclusion, if you're stuck inside, you should be catching up on the X and Y Show for all the episodes that you missed. That's what you should be doing. And for all your friends who are looking for good podcasts, you should be promoting the X and Y Show. You should be telling them about this great show that you heard with a cool and smart host, and they'll really love it, and pass it around. Pass me around. Don't be stingy. Don't be stingy. Pass me around. Share me with your friends, your buddies. If you really love me, that's what you'll do. This is the time to do that. During the coronavirus, we're all stuck inside. You should be willing to share with your fellow man. Anyway. All right. Read a couple of letters. First letter is from Matt. Hello, Roosevelt. Love your show. Ran across it by accident. Been a subscriber ever since. Well, thank you, Matt. I really appreciate that. You guys don't understand, just hearing simple words like that. You have a nice show. I love your show. I like your show. I never take those words for granted. It feels good when you someone's telling you, hey, man, I like what you're doing. It really feels good. And even the people that says, your show would be great if you did this. I don't take those words for granted as, either. Sometimes I take into account what they're saying. I don't listen to a T because you can't please everybody. I learned that a long time ago. when I first started out on Blog Talk Radio, if you try to appease everyone that, you should do this, you should do that, you should have more music, or blah, 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 you would never, you lose sight. So I figured out a long time ago, do what you do. And if they don't like it, fuck it. Don't worry about it. You're not going to please everybody. But it's always good to hear good, kind words. Always good to hear constructive criticisms as well. That makes me better. So always appreciate the kind words that when you guys send in. I appreciate it, Matt. Next one is from Patty. Why do you hold marriage in such high regard? Well, Patty, I guess this is the way I was raised. My parents were married for 53 years before my dad passed. So, I've seen a lot of other friends, with single parent households, and that's something what I'm talking about tonight as well. So this question kind of fit. I see my friends with single parents households, and I'm not saying that all of them was bad, because that's not true. There's been some good single parent households, and some of my friends turned out great. I'm just saying that I think if it would have been two parents, it would have been even greater, even better. That's what I'm trying to say. A lot of times I've talked about marriage, and marriage is needed. You need a two-parent household. I'm not saying that if you don't have a two-parent household, then you're nothing, or you're a failure, or you're fucked up. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, there's plenty of people that came from a single-parent household and turned good. There's plenty of people who had two parents in the household and ended up fucked up. So it's not, if you have two-parent household, you're guaranteed to be okay. And it's not if you have a single-parent household, you're guaranteed to be fucked up either. However, the odds are, if you come from a two-parent household, the chances are greater that you will be okay. That's all I'm saying. So if you came out from a single-parent household, you turn out all right, good for you. But I think it would have been a lot better if it had been two parents. That's all I'm saying. And me, for one, I hate that my dad passed before, I really grew up and got an opportunity to tell him, and my mom too. Well, my mom's still here, actually. But I have to tell her, she's here. It was, I really appreciate them being together for a two-parent house. And they got along, just like any other couple. They had arguments and stuff. But, for the most part, they loved each other a lot. And I really appreciate that stability that was in my household because my dad was around. And, my mom was there, and I grew up in a two-parent household. It made a big difference with me. If my dad wasn't there, I don't think I'd be the same person. Me personally. I don't know, because I can't see shit, back in the future. I don't have that kind of power. If I did have that kind of power, I would be getting a lot more pussy. But I really believe if my dad wouldn't have been there growing up, I would be a totally different person. So, I hold marriage in a high regard because I've seen the positive results from a 53-year-old marriage. And that's something that I will strive for. I would want my kids to have that stability as well, to have their mother and father in a household. And to give them a greater chance of being a positive influence, a positive mark on society. So I've always held marriage in a high regard, and I think as I get older, it gets even higher. It's very important. Unlike society says, with so many people, marriage is not needed. You don't need a piece of paper to show your love and, all that bullshit. So you have all these single parents roaming around, some of them on purpose because they don't need a father. Some of them by chance because, shit didn't work out. But, you have all this single parent households roaming around, and that's why society is so fucked up right now. So I will always have marriage in my heart. I will always hold it in a high regard. I think it's very important. And it's not just a piece of paper. It's taking a vow to that person saying that you love them, and you're taking a vow in front of God that you will be there till death do us part. It's not just a piece of paper. It's a promise. It's a vow. That's what it's not just a reception, or it's not just a union where you're together and when shit goes bad, it's time to get a divorce. It's supposed to be a union with love. That's what it's supposed to be. The ultimate act of love, when you're saying that you want to commit to this person for the rest of your life. So that's why I hold it so in high regard, Patty, because I think that it's a very important thing that we all should have in our lives, and I think society has forgotten that, and that's why society is so fucked up right now. So, hope I answered your question. The last question is from Lucy. Lucy says, you should be on the Oprah channel. Well, thank you, Lucy. If you know Oprah, or if you follow her on Twitter, and send her a tweet. Shit, just say, you this wonderful podcast that should be on your channel. And I think that you should get him on your channel. And, hey, I would appreciate it, Lucy. And when she get me on her channel, I'll make a promise to you right now. I will fly you out to my first taping and put you in a hotel room and all of that, and take you to the nicest restaurant in town and get all the chicken wings that you want to eat. So that would be my promise to you if you do that. If you really believe I should be on Oprah, prove it. All right, Lucy. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so let's get into tonight's episode without further ado. Tonight's episode, why are so many women having babies with men who have no intention of marrying them? Why are so many women having babies with men who have no intention of marrying them? Now, I know I'm going to piss a lot of the fellas off with this episode because it's almost like I'm against them. But I'm not against them. I'm against the negative effect that this could have on society. With all these children growing up from a single-parent household and growing up to be, negative impacts on society, robbing and doing all kind of stuff and making someone like me have to put a cap in their ass. So, I'm doing my public service because I really believe that this is a big problem in our community. And a lot of you think, well, it's just the blacks. It's not just the blacks. It's not just the Hispanics. And it's not just the whites. It's a lot of people, or I'm going to be more specific, a lot of women are out there having babies with guys, and they know they don't have any intention in marrying them. And also they know that they're not even marriage material, but they're still having babies with these motherfuckers. And that's what I really don't get, but, I don't know. That's some dumb shit that I just never understand. I was talking to this girl a while back and found out she had 3 kids and, from 2 different dicks, right? So she was telling me, I said, you're not married? You never got married? When she told me she had 3 kids, it was no way that we were, it was no way that we was getting together. Fuck that. But anyway, I was just talking to a conversation because I'm not rude. I said, you never got married? That's what I'm thinking. I asked her, oh no, I would never marry those 2 guys. So I'm thinking to myself, if she wouldn't marry them, why the fuck did she let them nut in her? She had 3 kids from 2 different dicks. And she said she wouldn't marry either of those guys. She wouldn't marry any of them. But she allowed them to nut in her and have kids. Now she's a single mother with 3 kids. And that's probably going to be a fucked up situation because I seen her youngest daughter or middle daughter, and that motherfucker is bad. But she's not the only one. There's a lot of women out there that are having babies with men, but, they know the men don't have any intentions of marrying them. And quite frankly, a lot of women that are having the kids don't want to be married. So, it's a negative result on society because you have all these motherfuckers growing up in single-parent households and coming out into society fucked up. And I'm not saying, again, I'm gonna say this one more time. I'm not saying just because you grew up in a single-parent household, it means that you're gonna be fucked up no matter what. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, if you grow up in a single-parent household, the chances are greater that you will be fucked up. Let's be honest. Stop sugarcoating shit. A lot of times in society is, people always saying shit to be nice and to sound good. Fuck all that. Tell it like it is. If you come from a single-parent household, chances are greater that you're going to be fucked up. Now, while I was doing a little research for this episode, I came across some information that even I was surprised of. And I was surprised, then I was hurt. Because, I didn't really know it was to this extent. It's pretty bad. And it's actually getting worse. Women having kids without the father. And it's something that is on the rise because in society, it's a lot of factors. But, it's something that is becoming more and more accepted in our society. You almost, years ago, when a mother was having a baby, the father was there, while she was having a baby, And if the father wasn't there, it was like, where's the father? Oh, you a single mom? They treated her as like she had leprosy or something if she had a father in there. But now it's no big deal. Okay, the father's not here. Okay, let's get started. Yeah, it's no big deal because it's been seen so much till we've become accustomed to it. But that doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right at all. It actually makes it really bad because we have accepted that women are having kids without fathers. And that's a bad thing. That's not a good thing. That's bad. So let me just run over some things here. Okay, so this is from Wikipedia. Now, Wikipedia is it's an okay source, but I wouldn't use Wikipedia if I was writing a book report or anything because it's not a reliable source. And for those of you who know about that, Wikipedia is not really a source that you would use. It's not very credible. So if I was writing a book report, I wouldn't necessarily use Wikipedia. It's a good source, but I wouldn't let it be my primary source. Okay, it'd be like a secondary source. But since I'm not writing a book report, fuck it. We gonna use it tonight. So Wikipedia says currently there is 13.6 million single parents in the United States today. In the United States today, there are nearly 13.6 million single parents raising over 21 million children. Single fathers are far less common than single mothers. Yes, of course. 30% single moms are one of the disadvantaged groups in the United States. Nearly 30% of their families live under the poverty line. Wow. Now, this is one that really blew me away. The percentages of single mothers broken down in race. Now for blacks, now I knew blacks had a high percentage, but I didn't know it was this damn high. 47%, and I'm getting this from the Pew Research Center, pewresearch.org, so you can check that out. It was an article done by Gretchen Livingston. And she did a big study on single moms in the households. So 47% of black women are single mothers. 47% of the mothers that are black are single moms. That's like, out of 10 moms, 5 of them are single mothers. That shit blew me away. I didn't know it was that bad. I knew it was fucked up, but I thought it was like 30% or, 25%, some shit like that. That's 50%. Fuck it. That's half the black mothers are single mothers. Black mothers, 47%. Hispanics came in second with 23%. That's still high. That's what I would think, blacks were. I thought Hispanics would be, a little lower than that as well. Not much, but, I thought it'd be around 23. That's actually 23% is like what I thought Hispanics would have been. I thought blacks would have been like 25. Hispanics would have been like, 23, 22 right now. So that's kind of what I thought it'd be. But that's still bad. 23%. So 2 out of 10 women, Hispanic women, are single mothers. 13% for white are single mothers and 7% for Asian. So let me repeat that again. For black mothers, 47% are single mothers, single parents. 47%. For Hispanic mothers, 23% are single mothers. For white, 13% are single mothers. Asian, 7% are single mothers. So when I was reading these, like I said, I was hurt, but then I was, I was surprised, then I was hurt, and then I was pissed. Because I'm thinking like, from these type of statistics, no wonder society's so fucked up. No wonder you got all these little bastards running around trying to rob people and growing up from little criminals, growing up to be big criminals. And then somebody like me got to put a cap in their ass. No wonder you have all this shit going on. Because there are no fathers in the household. No wonder society's so fucked up. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, because I don't cut any corners. A lot of times it's a woman's fault. And let me elaborate on that. It's the woman's fault because they're having babies with these motherfuckers and they know they don't want to get married or they're not even marriage material. Like the girl I met with 3 kids, she said I wouldn't marry any of them. So I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck you let them nut in you then? She got 3 kids from 2 different dicks. So it's the woman's fault because they're letting these motherfuckers nut all in them, but they know they're not going to get married and they know they're not marriage material. Now, I'm not talking to the women who are married and shit didn't work out. No, I'm not talking to you. That's different. That's, you tried to do the right things and shit didn't work out. Sometimes that happens. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to these women who are having babies with these men, knowing the men ain't shit, knowing they won't want to get married, just let them nut all in them, and raising all these little motherfucking bastards up to in a single parent household. Those are the ones I'm talking to. Now, there are a lot of reasons, why women would have babies out of wedlock into a single parent household. We could be here all night. But I think for the ones that I've heard the most, the ones that I've seen the most with people that I know or people that I know, these are the ones that I've heard the most. Most women have babies out of wedlock because they're trying to change the man. They try to say if I have a baby from him, then maybe he'll stick around. If I have a baby from him, he'll marry me. If I have a baby from him, he'll love me. I mean, you listen to me saying that shit, and it's the dumbest shit that you would ever hear. It's some stupid shit. But a lot of women are actually thinking that way. If I have a baby, he'll marry me. He'll stop messing with all the other women and just be with me. I'm going to change him. I'm going to have a baby and it's going to make everything okay. The dumbest shit I ever heard. But a lot of women are falling for the okie doke, and a lot of women actually believe if they have a baby, it's going to change that man in the way that he feels about her. Bunch of silly motherfuckers. And, it doesn't matter what you say to them, nothing would change that. Because they feel that will actually change the man. If I have a child, he has to change. He'll change. He'll love me then. No, he won't. He's going to have the kid and still continue to move on and fucking other women and doing all kind of shit. And it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to marry you. And if he do marry you, it still doesn't guarantee shit. Because, some guys will say, damn, I got her ass pregnant. I got to marry her. Okay, let me marry her. Fuck it. But he doesn't love you. It doesn't, just because you have a baby doesn't mean that he loves you. Stop trying to change these men. I know men personally who make it their personal life goal to impregnate as many women as they can. And those motherfuckers know who I'm talking to if you're listening to it. They go out intentionally trying to impregnate women. And they have no intention in marrying them. And I don't understand, because most of the women know that this motherfucker already got 5 kids, yet they still lay their ass there and let this motherfucker nut all in them. Okay, now you got 6, but I know he got 5, but no, he really gonna care for me. He gonna treat me different. Dumbest motherfuckers. Stupid! That's right, I said it. I don't cut no corners on XY show and never did, never will. All these damn silly ass women having kids from guys trying to change them. Make them feel better. He'll love me now. It's bullshit. A baby does not change a man, women. Stop thinking that shit. Does not happen. Now, another reason that women are having these babies out of wedlock is pressures from the families. I know a lot of women, I love Hispanic women. I think most of the pressure from families would come from white women and Jewish and Hispanic women as well. Blacks, I don't get that. I don't hear that too often. I'm not saying it don't happen, but I don't hear it too often. I hear it a lot from Hispanic families and Jewish families. My Jewish white friends, females, that getting a lot of pressure from their families. You got to have a kid. When you going to have a kid? You're going to run out of time. You're not a spring chicken anymore. Brrrr. And a lot of women are, when you keep saying shit to somebody, I guess eventually they break down. It's, damn, I got to have a baby. Oh, my goodness. I'm getting old. So they having babies, from the pressures of their families, which is fucked up. Because their families shouldn't be encouraging that. Shouldn't want your daughter to have a kid by herself. You shouldn't want that shit. Stop being selfish. I want a grandkid. I want a grandkid. Do it right. Stop encouraging your daughters. Stop pressuring them to have kids. And being in a single parent situation. Women, stop falling for the okie doke. Stop listening to your family getting pregnant and having kids out of wedlock. You know, they say it's beautiful that you have a baby, but they're not going to be there. The only one there is going to be you. You know, you have a good man, if he's okay and take care of his responsibilities, and he might be around and throw you a child support check every month, but he's not going to actually be there. His support will be very limited. Because a lot of guys believe as long as they're sending their check every month, they don't have to do shit else. Oh, she got a check. What the fuck else you want from me? You got your check, didn't you? I'm not saying all guys, but a lot of guys are like that. I know a lot of guys mad at me. What the fuck? Roosevelt, what are you saying, man? Y'all know I don't cut no corners on X and Y. You should know that by now. I tell it like it is. So women, stop adhering, stop falling for that shit from the pressures of your families. Your family shouldn't want you to be alone with a kid. They really cared about you. Tell them the next time they say, when are you going to have a baby, to ask them, when are you going to stop being selfish? And they think about a damn grandkid. Fuck all that. When are you going to stop being selfish? Ask them that shit. We have to stop the cycle of these kids growing up in single-parent households. It should not be a thing where we're accustomed to. It should not be a thing that we're used to. It should be a rarity instead. And instead, it's becoming something that's on the rise, not on a decrease. It's on the increase. Another reason why women are having kids without a father is listening to society. Society is fucked up. A lot of women actually believe that they don't even need a father. This woman actually told me that shit one time in Atlanta back in the day. She was a nurse and she was fine too. She almost got me, I ain't gonna lie. Because she was fine. I was thinking differently back then. I was on the dog side of the force. I was a Sith back then. Now I'm good. I'm a Jedi now. I'm thinking on the light side. But back then I was on the dog side. She almost got me. She was finer than a motherfucker. But she told me that, I really just want to have a baby. I don't even want a husband. So basically, she, we was talking one day about marriage and stuff. And, she was saying, asking me how do I feel about kids and stuff. And she, basically in the short story, she was telling me that she just wanted me to fuck her, and have a kid with her. She told me that. She did. And, back then, I was still doing my thing, but I didn't want to have kids. I didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to have kids out of wedlock. I was a nice player, But, she told me that she actually said that all I need is, a good guy, and I need his sperm. She told me that shit. So I had to be careful around her, and I ended up stop fucking with her because I know she was actually trying to get pregnant. So I had to stop fucking with her because eventually she would have got me because she was finer than a motherfucker. So I had to stop fucking with her before I, got myself in a situation. But women are actually listening to society because in society, the idea that you don't need a father. So women who are successful, who are, in their field, who are engineers, doctors, actresses, lawyers, who are financially affluent, they actually believe that they don't need a man. They don't need a father in their lives. They don't need, they don't need a two-parent household. I can take care of myself. So you got a lot of women actually believing that shit. That as long as I'm taking care of him or her. As long as, I'm affluent, I have a lot of money, I have a big house and da-da-da. I'm worth this and that. I don't need a man. What for? A lot of women actually believe in that shit. That societal bullshit. That just because, if you're affluent, the more affluent you are, the less need of a man. That's what kind of shit being preached in society. And a lot of you women are falling for that shit. It doesn't matter how much money or successful you are in your career. That don't mean a damn thing. Don't matter what should that mean? You're still alone. You still are raising your kid in a single parent household. Don't listen to me. You got motherfuckers out there who are affluent. You say, damn, how did that kid turn out so bad? He had everything he wanted. He went to all the private schools. And this motherfucker still grew up doing shit that he shouldn't be doing. Robbing, selling drugs, some kind of hustle. And I'm not saying again that if he had a father there, he still, he wouldn't have turned out that way. I'm not saying that. It's not guaranteed that he would have. But I'm saying if the father would have been there, the chances are greater that that motherfucker wouldn't have grew up robbing folks or stealing, or robbing people's houses, or doing dumb shit in society. Or growing up not knowing how to be a man. Or not knowing how to be a woman. A father is needed for that shit. How many women out there with poor self-esteem because they don't know what it feels like to be loved by a father figure? Little girls need their daddies. Little boys need their daddies. That shit is not debatable. It shouldn't be. It's very important in society. Excuse me. It should be very important in society. It's not. But it should be. Now, another reason that women are having kids without without the father, is a lot of them are saying that they're fucking lonely. You believe that shit? A lot of women are having kids. I'm lonely. I need somebody to love. I need someone to love me. Get a fucking puppy. Get a fucking cat. Or if you want a lot of pets, get a damn fish tank. Don't have a baby because you're fucking lonely. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But a lot of women out there doing it. I'm lonely. I'm so lonely. I need someone to love. A lot of women out there are doing that dumb shit because they're lonely. Get a mother... It's really frustrating. Because you say, you look around at these women who are single mothers and you say, what happened? But, if you really look deep in the picture, a lot of them put themselves in that predicament on purpose. A lot of them actually wanted to be a single mother. Or a lot of them done dumb shit to be a single mother. Now, again, I'm not talking to the women who are married and got a divorce and shit just didn't work out. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the women who are having babies trying to change a man, how a man feel about them and make a man love them. I'm talking to the women who succumb to family pressures, that they're getting older and they need to hurry up and have a baby and give them grandkids. Those silly motherfuckers. I'm talking about the women who are having babies listening to society, that they don't need a man to have a family. A father isn't needed. And I'm talking to the women who are having babies alone because they're fucking lonely. Women out there are making a lot of poor, bad decisions, and the result are the children suffering. Thus, they're suffering because they've grown up without a father in a single-parent household. A lot of women are to blame for that because they can prevent it. Now, a lot of you saying, oh, it takes two to get pregnant. Yes, it does. It does. But women, if you get pregnant, you're going to be there. You can't go anywhere. Very rarely is the father taking the kids and being a single parent with the fathers. That's very rare. Most of the time you get pregnant, the kid gonna be with you. So we have to be more. You have to be more smart. If you know that motherfucker never gonna marry you, or he's not marriage material, don't have a kid with him. Stop having babies when you're alone. It's not going to change the way the man feels about you just because you have a kid from him. It's not going to change that man. Don't think that it will. I don't care how many you have. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not going to change him. It's not going to change him the way that he feels about you. It's not. So stop, women. Stop allowing these men to use you. Stop falling for the okie doke and letting these motherfuckers nut all in you and then leaving. Stop falling for the okie doke and allowing your families to pressure you into having the kids just to give them a fucking grandkid. Stop listening to society saying and telling you that you don't need a man. You don't need a father. You don't need a husband in your household. Go ahead and have that baby. You don't need no marriage. You don't need a man. You don't need a 2-parent household. It's okay. Stop listening to society with that bullshit. And stop your having a babies because you're lonely. Get a puppy. Get a bird. Get 2 birds. But don't have a baby in a single-parent household because you're lonely. So I'm talking to the women. Why are women having babies with men who have no intention of marrying them? Why are they still doing that? Why are they still doing this? Why is that on the rise instead of on the decrease? Women, you have to make better decisions. You have to make smarter decisions when it comes to you having a child. It's very important. You love your child. You want your child to have the best. Then the best is them growing up in a 2-parent household. Now, if shit don't work out, you get married, that's something different. Hopefully, the father wants to be a part of your kid's life. But I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about having babies with people or men who are not marriage material. They don't really care about you. I'm talking about purposely bringing a kid in an environment where they're already disadvantaged. That's what I'm talking about. Women, you have to make better decisions because in the end, it affects us all as a society. If you really and truly love your kids, give them the better chance of actually growing up and being a positive influence in society. Give them greater odds. You do need a man to have children, to have a kid. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't listen to this fucked up society. Because in the end, all that matters are the children. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of the X and Y Show. Be sure to check out all the archives of my episodes from any platform that you listen to. I'm on Stitcher. I'm on Blueberry. I'm on TuneIn. I'm on Castbox, Spotify. I'm on iHeart. And I'm on Stitcher. I think I already said that. But I'm on Apple Podcasts as well. My main hub is from Spreaker. That's where I broadcast from. I'm also on social media. I'm on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can find all of that, my social media and my platforms on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com, www.thexyshow.com. You can find everything there. You can also find a contact form to say anything you like, any constructive criticisms, any questions, any future show recommendations. Say it all there. The story is coming. It's coming. You know what? I'm not going to say that no more. I'll just tell you when it's here. But it's coming. It's coming. So I guess that's it. And I will see you guys next week. And I want you always to remember that you cannot have love without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.